This review was made possible by contributions from viewers like you.
Hey there, Little Red Riding Hood. You sure are looking good. You're everything a big bad wolf could want. Listen to me.
Hey guys, if there's one thing that my executive producers at patreon.com all share, it's the desire to share good times with all of you. And by that I mean... let's take a look at Good Times Entertainment's Little Red Riding Hood. Yep, today we're delving back into the wonderful land of Good Times, the studio responsible for such timeless animated classics as Snow White and Miracle in Toyland. Can't you just hear the anticipation in my voice? There's so much anticipation right now. We open on Grandma sewing the titular Little Red Riding Hood, as we pan by a series of tiny animals made of silver. Clearly, Grandma is an evil witch who cast these poor animals under an enchantment.
It's made with love, made with care.
And what does the creation of this cape demand its own worship song?
Just for her to wear. She's a special one, whose heart is filled with fear. She brings me happiness, Little Red Riding Hood.
We get a little montage of Red Riding Hood and her grandmother hanging out together, in which we see that Grandma has taped her copy of the script onto the wall for her own convenience, and it ends with the two of them rocking on the porch enjoying a nice hot cup of tea.
More often than not, those who have grown old long for the days of their youth, while the young ones can't wait to grow old.
Oh yeah, I spent most of my childhood waiting to grow old.
After a moment of Red Riding Hood gazing longingly into her grandmother's eyes, we cut back to Red at her mother's house, where they spend their days frosting cakes with used motor oil while sitting in high chairs. They're preparing a basket of goodies for Grandma, who has suddenly fallen ill, and since her mom is a model parent, of course she sends her only child, who can't be older than 8, out on her own into the big scary world.
And don't talk to strangers!
Alright, I won't talk to strangers! Simmer down, lady.
I'm your mother. It's my job to worry.
Not enough to actually go with you in the big scary woods, but you know. It isn't long into Red's journey when she comes across a little fawn, who is upset by how she forgot her mother's birthday yesterday. We're only 5 minutes into this thing, and the movie forgets what its own moral is supposed to be. You know, the whole you shouldn't talk to strangers thing? Or is talking to strangers perfectly okay when they're cute? Anyway, Red helps the fawn feel better by suggesting that they get her mom a bouquet of flowers.
I'm on my way to my grandma's. She's not feeling very well.
Your grandma's? What's that?
Grandmas are sort of like extra moms, only they let you do more stuff.
I'll ask my mom if I have one.
Mom, do I have a grandma?
Man was in the forest.
No. No, you don't have a grandma. After sending Fonnie McFonface on her way to celebrate her mother's belated birthday, since wild animals understand the concept of specific dates of time in the year, Red soon comes across another stranger to whom she must talk.
Is everything all right?
No, I should be saying tweet, 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 not buck, buck, buckcock. This little thrush explains that he hurt his wing after trying to fly.
I remember when I was learning to ride my bike. I crashed too.
Who knew that Little Red Riding Hood was an extreme mountain biker? She heals the bird's wing by rubbing some jam on it.
Great!
Hey, that stuff really works. Can I have some more?
Sorry, the rest is for my grandma.
She has to fix her wings, too. It turns out that this thrush has more than a hurt wing to contend with. He has to get over his fear of flying.
When we're afraid of something, we have to learn not to be afraid of it.
Thank you, Little Red Motivational Speaker Hood. She helps him get back in the air again. He falls for a whole 12 seconds before catching himself, which means that he was about 700 meters up, and still below the incredibly tall treetops. And all this does is further demonstrate how you should be talking to strangers, since only good can come from it.
That sure was a pretty song you were whistling, Thrash.
Well, my whole family are famous songbirds.
And thanks to your flying, you don't cluck anymore. Amazing.
Wish I could whistle like that.
Just put your lips together and blow.
You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
They couldn't have referenced to have and have not, could they?
I'm pretty sure these people think Citizen Kane is some kind of sugar.
Nothing happened.
You need to pucker up more.
You know, like birds do with their beaks.
You got it!
If you're all alone and want some company, it's a fact that you can always count on me. In the blinking of an eye, I'll be by your side. Just whistle and I'll be there. Whistle. Just whistle and I'll be there. Whistling is the way to call for me.
Hey, Jiminy Cricket called. He said he wants his song back.
Give a little whistle. Give a little whistle. And always let your conscience be your guide.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Little Red Riding Hood.
Whistle. Whistle and I'll be there. Just whistle. Whistle this melody. Just whistle. Whistle and I'll be there. Whistling is the way to call for me.
How do we get back to what little plot there is?
Goodbye, and thanks for everything.
Wait! What if I want to see you again?
Just whistle! Just whistle and he'll be there! Didn't you hear the song for the last 2 minutes?
So long!
Wow, who's gonna believe that I almost flew?
That wasn't flying. That was falling with style.
That wasn't even running with style. So she continues walking through the forest and... Whoa, hold the phone here. Let's for the moment ignore that the wolf in sheep's clothing is not the wolf from Little Red Riding Hood. Let's also ignore that he looks like a bad Tex Avery cartoon in a movie that's trying to pull off a somewhat more realistic aesthetic, like something you'd see in Disney's feature animation. Let's instead focus on how he's wearing the skin of another animal, and he's carrying a purse. Oh my god, he's Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs! Would you shear me? I'd shear me. Shear me hard. And now he's a lumberjack, and that's okay.
Is it okay? Or does he wear suspenders and a bra?
He introduces himself to Red as nothing but an ordinary woodsman, and she somehow believes him. He even warns her about wolves prowling around in the woods, which is just plain bizarre. First of all, why is he giving himself away like that? Shouldn't he be trying to dispel any rumors of wolves in the area to better his chances of Red leaving herself defenseless? Second, even if she didn't immediately recognize him as a wolf, why wouldn't his mentioning wolves suddenly trigger her feeble little brain into remembering what wolves look like? You know, like how you're watching a movie and you recognize a specific actor, but you can't remember from what, and then the person you're watching the movie with says what he's from, and then you say, "Oh yeah, it's that guy," and then that's all you can see? Why isn't Red doing that with the wolf here? Was she dropped on her little red hospital beanie?
What's in your basket?
My, what a hairy finger you have.
I touched myself a lot when I was a kid. Listen to your mother, let me tell you. She tells the wolf to piss off and proceeds on her way to Grandma's house.
Grandma? Sounds tasty. I must find out more.
Oh my god, it's Snowden the Snowman! And he's even more pervy in this movie somehow!
On the way to her grandmother's, Red Riding Hood got thirsty and stopped by a nearby stream for a drink.
Oh, right. There's a narrator in this story. Forgot.
Who's there? I hope it's not that wolf.
Wait, so she could see it was a wolf? Why didn't she call him out on his disguise earlier? He proceeds to sneak up on Red while wearing very noisy xylophone shoes. But then... Really, movie? Of all the things there are for you to rip off, you gotta go after Thomas Timberwolf? Naturally, Red is a little bit miffed at having a tree almost crush her.
That tree almost hit me.
Well, you weren't there when I started cutting. Besides, I yelled timber.
Oh, hi, Bobby Bucktooth. Did you have a nice Christmas? After Red expresses her slight annoyance after almost being crushed by a tree, she offers to help the beaver get wood.
I'm really very good with my hands.
And that's why the wolf is after you.
I might just have a little beaver pate for an appetizer.
Stop licking your lips over the prospect of eating beaver!
Oh, don't you lick your lips over the prospect of eating?
Moving on! So we get a montage of Red helping the beavers put their dam together.
If you do your part, then I'll do mine. Put them together and we're doing fine. 'Cause we're a mean, clean machine. We're a team. We're a team. Everyone deserves a pat on the back. Thanks to all of us, we're right on track.
Yeah, and Grandma's dying of starvation. Get back to the movie, Red. God knows how many hours later, Red sets off to Grandma's again. The wolf continues stalking her, but...
Oh.
They're already done with the dam! Why are they still cutting down trees?
Oh god, this is gonna be a running gag, isn't it?
After passing through a little patch of forest from Pandora, she runs into the wolf again, this time disguised as a little old man. Red somehow doesn't see through this disguise either, and she offers him a slice of sludge cake.
What's your name?
They call me Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh, my love.
I can't give it all to you. It's for my sick grandma.
I love grandmas.
Wow, did this get a whole lot creepier? He wants to know more about Grandma, but Red is once again flip-flopped on her talking to strangers policy.
Oh, Grandma's just the best grandma you could...
Yes?
Actually, I shouldn't be talking to you. My mother warned me not to talk to strangers.
And she's absolutely right, dearie. Only we're not strangers anymore. We're friends.
I, Georgie, am Pennywise the Dancing Clown. You are Georgie. So now we know each other.
He eventually gets a beat on the location of Grandma's house. Red warns him that there are wolves out there in the woods because she's an idiot. He speeds off like he's the frickin' Roadrunner, and Red continues on her way to Grandma's house by walking in the opposite direction. The wolf somehow gets to Grandma's house by taking a shortcut to a place he's never been to, and because he has a costume for every occasion, he tricks Grandma into letting him in by posing as Little Red Riding Hood. Apparently this guy's a better master of disguise than Batman. And where's his tail? Stuffing it into the back of his pants can't be comfortable. Sheesh, the Lord of the Rings didn't have this much walking in it. Red finally gets to Grandma's house, and I guess she must suffer from face blindness, because this is the third time today she's seen this wolf face, and she can't tell the difference between her grandma and this furry woodsman / old codger.
Would you like some cake?
Only if you'll have some with me.
I've been waiting all day.
Hey, the cake's whole again. She must have got it from Wonderland.
And what a long tongue you have.
Wait a minute, shouldn't you be asking about her big teeth? Why are you asking about her long tongue?
Inappropriate.
Red finally puts it together that she's actually talking to the wolf she's met several times already, and they have a little chase around the house, which goes a lot longer than it should. So he leaps at the gate and somehow lands in the middle of the fence?
Help! I'm falling at a 60-degree angle, breaking all the laws of physics!
What am I gonna do?
Just put your lips together and blow!
Of course! She'll stop the wolf by putting her lips together and blowing. Mwah! Good night, everybody! More running. What was the point of establishing the wolf as having super speed if he isn't going to use it? So it's not a kindly woodsman who saves Red, it's the birdemic? They chase the wolf away because he doesn't have a clothes hanger handy. That little fawn and her mother trip him up with a vine that they got from somewhere because, of course, they knew he'd be there. And the beavers throw him down a waterfall while the birds bid him an eye-rolling farewell. Yeah, somehow wolves got a reputation for being cunning, deadly hunters, when in actuality you can easily defeat them just by pushing them the hell over. Doing absolutely nothing to dispose of the wolf sure was exhausting. Red remembers that, oh yeah, she had a grandma who might still be in trouble, and she finds her locked in the closet. You know, if the wolf had eaten Grandma before Red showed up, that'd be a good explanation as to why he wasn't as fast as he should have been. But yeah, Grandma's safe, and all is right with the world.
Red never did forget that visit, and all that it taught her. From that day forward, she went through life a little bit warier.
She became a shut-in and cut herself off from the rest of society. The end. So that was Little Red Riding Hood from Good Times Entertainment, and it's just not very good. The animation isn't as insulting as what we've seen from Good Times in the past, but it's still nothing to write home about. The story is simple, if padded. The vocal performances are alright. The songs are forgettable. But the worst thing about this movie is that it completely misses the point. Little Red Riding Hood is supposed to be a cautionary tale about talking to strangers, but Red only prevails in this movie because she talked to and befriended as many strangers as possible. You know what I see in a movie adaptation of Little Red Riding Hood? Red meets the wolf very early on in her journey to Grandma's house. He joins her, and they appear to become real friends as they spend the majority of the film together, getting to know one another and helping each other through a series of perilous adventures. When it's finally revealed at the end that the wolf isn't actually her friend, it's devastating on a more personal level than the possibility of just being eaten, and it'd really drive the point home that you need to be more careful about whom you trust. It maintains the moral of the original story in that you want to be cautious of strangers, while also addressing the reality that you can't go through life avoiding strangers entirely. If all we ever did was keep to ourselves and avoid any interaction with strangers, then I couldn't be here sharing movies and comics with all of you guys. See you later, friends.
If you're all alone and want some company, it's a fact that you can always count on me. In the blinking of an eye, I'll be by your side. Just whistle and I'll be there. Whistle, whistle and I'll be there. Just whistle, whistle this melody. Whistle, just whistle and I'll be there. Whistling is the way to call for me. If you ever hear loud noises in the night, and your heart is beating fast and full of fright, melody. Just whistle. Whistle and I'll be there. Whistling is the way to call for me. Whistle if you're scared or if you're feeling blue. Whistle if you need a friend and I'll be there for you. Whistle. Just whistle and I'll be there. Whistle. Just whistle this melody. Whistle. Whistle and I'll be there. Whistling is the way to call for me. Whistle.
Hey guys. Some of you may remember this fun little painting that was given to me by one of my fans named Bianca Engstrom. And isn't that just lovely? So, I am especially excited to see what she has in store for me today. Let's take a look.
I love that Wolf of Bob painting.
Yes, it is very
I can't wait till you can hang it up properly in your own place.
Dear Bob Show, I'm glad you like my painting, and now I'd like to give you something special for the holidays. I hope you like it. P.S. I hope my English was okay. B. Yes, your English is very good. Thank you, Bianca. And we have... Oh! Wow, that is very weird. I just got a couple packages ago a copy of Alice in Wonderland in kinda sorta manga form, and she gave me the adaptation of the movie based on the motion picture. Alice Kingsley is about to discover a fantastic secret. Just beyond our world lies a place where madmen share their tea with hares and dormice. A queen enjoys a tyrannous reign, while terrifying beasts and immaterial felines roam her kingdom. There is a simple way into this world, and a young woman named Alice has found it. Join her as she travels down the rabbit hole and into a place called Underland. Which I actually think is kind of clever. I forget if I mentioned that in my review for the movie. The place is called Underland because that's literally what it is. It's the world under the world above. It's Underland. But little 6-7-year-old Alice, she heard Wonderland. Because everything is wonderful. Makes sense?
Except it's not, because Wonderland is scary.
Yeah. Well, it's only scary under the Red Queen's rule. I'm sure it was much more wonderful when she first visited it. Like what we see in the original Disney cartoon. Thank you very much, Bianca. I am going to enjoy reading that. And anyone who wants to send me any little packages, DVDs, movies, comics, whatever, just go ahead and send it to the P.O. Box in the corner, and I'll see you later.
Subscribe, like, follow, comment, share, watch more.